Hello, I'm the Angry Spork, taking issue with the new Avengers/Transformers. Previously, Captain America led Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Luke Cage into Latveria to investigate a mysterious dome and prevent an impending war with its neighbor Symkaria, all while Doctor Doom is a total no-show. It's like they were carrying out an invasion that was supposed to be secret. Why does that remind me of something? Anyway, Spidey got abducted and his buddies start arguing because of a device making them more aggressive. So when the Autobots show up to tell the Avengers to vamoose, they instead attack their fellow protagonists, as is crossover tradition. The cover sees Prowl in the background, aiming his weapon as Wolverine lunges forward, his face looking like it's mutating to resemble a bulldog, and the rest of his body looking like he just won a pie-eating contest. I'd wager by scaring his opponent with his claws, then taking their pies for his own. There's nothing in the rulebook against it, so they let it slide. After a handy-dandy recap page, the Avengers go on the offensive, with Prime ordering standard human containment tactics, which means no killing unless absolutely necessary. Ratchet takes to vehicle mode, pleading that the humans aren't themselves, but Miss Marvel ignores him and tries to literally take the wheel, only for the medic to deploy his airbag. Standard human containment techniques do not always preserve the subject's dignity. Now's the part where I give you a really stupid haircut and make you wear ugly neon clothes from the 1980s. Bumblebee distracts Luke with a holographic woman in holographic distress to get a laser blast in. Falcon, curious just how he's going to follow Cap's orders of kill the giant robots, gets tased, and Jazz opts to subdue Logan by running him over, while saying they're not enemies. I know when there's 2 tons of metal immobilizing me, that's when I'm at my calmest! I do wonder, though, if Jazz can feel those claws poking through his front bumper. I'd also wonder if he'd have tried this if he knew that Wolvie doesn't always have the best interactions with enormous automatons.
Hey, Tin Woodsman! I'm sending you back to Oz in pieces.
Though he certainly seems to feel his tires getting slashed. Prime again urges them to leave, and when the Knucklehead fails to comply, he gets head-zapped into submission by the errant Latverian ruler.
You may now give thanks to Doom. It just happens to be thanks to Doom Giving Day, where everyone sits down to mashed sweet potatoes, homemade biscuits, and a plump turkey with a metal mask welded to it. All to praise Doom!
Before Rogers can retaliate, Ratchet places a device on his back, which has the same effect as Doom's attack on Wolvie, clearing the fog of the aggression wave and stopping the proverbial engines of war. He's got plenty more for the others, but Miss Marvel, who's had a history of people messing with her brain, doesn't trust it, so she gets zapped too, much to Cap's annoyance as he demands answers. Prime explains that the Autobots' eons-long enemies, the Decepticons, are using a machine to cause humanity to war with itself, so they can plunder the Earth for Energon. Carol, in a moment of lucidity, mentions having seen planets totally drained of its resources in her time with the Starjammers. It may have been depressing, but at least there was ample parking space. The machine was set up without Dr. Doom's knowledge, and utilized a prototype copy of his mind-controlling psychoprism, which was taken from his labs a few months back. It's not precise, but is enough to instill murderous rage, and Vic's attempts to remove the array with his Doombots did not pan out.
I am a man like you, a citizen of this planet, and my first priority is my people.
I'm no expert, but I get the feeling that there are some fans that have a problem with Doom describing himself as simply a man. He's always had this superior, regal attitude, a sense he should be in charge of more than just his own country, and everyone else is beneath him. But hey, maybe he had a humanizing arc I'm not aware of.
I will not see them destroyed by mere machines.
Huh? Doom has great respect for the technology that operates his lawn sprinklers and records Great British Bake Off to his DVR, but that's it! Ratchet assures his devices will protect the Avengers from the wave, but Carol starts bugging out, refusing to wear one as Luke restrains her. Steve calls Iron Man, who's been monitoring rumors of alien robots undercover on the planet for some time now. Tony, if you've been trolling people on message boards for fun again, just say so. Looking at scans of Ratchet's invention, he doesn't see any danger in them, so Cap asks Danvers to put one on. She does, being calmed by Logan after 10 minutes, They both were hit hardest by the wave, one because of half-Kree DNA, and one because he's Wolverine. The planes that have been shelling Symkaria are identified as Skywarp and Thundercracker, and the war they're antagonizing could start in 14 hours. If only this region had used daylight savings time, that could have given us an edge. Wolvie then reminds them of their captured compatriot.
Spider-Man's still trapped in there.
I'm not forgetting a thing, Logan.
No, not the Thing. Spider-Man. Ben Grimm's not even on this mission. Focus, Rogers, focus!
Cap figures there's one clear objective: get inside the dome. In the lab where the webhead is being held, Runamuck becomes the first Decepticon to be able to respond to and feed off of their enemy's strength, but being charged with, strawberry starbursts? When Ramjet offers to be next, Megatron turns him down, suspecting, for whatever reason, that he'll try to overthrow him. Until the Seeker can be trusted with this boost, he's ordered to guard the Psycho Prism. While the others get their enhancements, Megs decides to exposit to Spidey.
He starts monologuing.
When the cons encounter worlds with unique defenses, like Earth's superhumans, they find a way to integrate those capabilities into themselves, called their mirror response mode. Strangely enough, it doesn't seem to work on vampires. The wall crawler's blood revealed greater anomalies than in his teammates, which could be refined into the most powerful energon isotope they've ever known, enabling Runamuck, Runabout, Skywarp, Blitzwing, and Thundercracker to crush the Avengers and revenge themselves on the Autobots, though Prime is reserved for Megs to scrap naturally. Parker mentions that the evil leader tries to sound in control, but only sounds more desperate. While some Megatrons might have gotten all threatening and imposing, even if they did need his radioactive blood, this one has a more calmed, wait-and-see response. Even though it would likely fall on deaf ears, or in this case, muted audio receptors, with all the talk of power in the last couple pages, I was expecting Pete to give the responsibility speech. Maybe he's hoping to save it for later or something? Outside, the Autobots are trying to bust their way in, but that doesn't mean Luke can't have a heart-to-spark with Ratchet about combat medic work. The structure is now protected by a force field, which I guess is why, instead of finding another seam for Cage or one of the big robots to punch, Wolverine accuses the complaining Doom of letting others do his dirty work.
Very perceptive, mutant. What else are one's lessers for?
Now there's the egocentric tyrant we all know and love to hate. For a second I thought maybe the aggression wave had a more humbling effect on him. Rather than waste time allying with inferior species and whatever plan they're trying to cook up, Doom decides to be diplomatic and meet with Symkaria's leaders, since there's 12 hours left before they retaliate against the airstrikes. Optimus hopes Victor succeeds, since Ratchet can't make enough inhibitors for an entire nation's worth of humans. We probably should have given Doom a couple of those things so we can talk to the Symkarian leaders while they're clear-headed.
Maybe, but wouldn't it be funnier if instead they beat him silly with desk chairs in a rage?
We're on the brink of international war as part of an alien plot to wipe out humanity, Logan.
Well, excuse me for trying to lighten the mood.
The Decepticons charge out of the array, with Prime being the first to find out how supercharged they are, when he takes a blast right to his windshield. Fortunately, Iron Man arrives in Cybertronian-sized armor.
And I don't care what Pepper tells you, I am not compensating for anything.
This was a good issue, an understandable clash between heroes of differing worlds resolved, if with some hiccups, and enough time to breathe before the next big fight that we see some stakes raised and the situation clarified. Characters all seem on point right now, though one's mileage may vary on Doom practically equating himself with Cap, though he contradicts it later, while saving his entitled image by referring to the heroes as lesser. But I can't abide him interrupting Prime. Not simply because it sounded like he had a plan to infiltrate the array, but because his voice will forever be Peter Cullen's, dagnabbit, and I don't care if you're a European dictator or a planet-eating behemoth. You keep quiet and listen to that auditory gold and you be thankful! It's kind of interesting that the cons have managed to somehow integrate Spidey's blood into their energon for a boost. It could be the radioactivity enhancing it and being stable enough to not do them any harm, if you wanted a sci-fi type explanation for it. Also, another issue where the moon is more realistic in size in the sky. though it is larger than in issue 1. I wonder why... Oh no.
You throw another moon at me, and I'm gonna lose it.
Tune in next week to see how Tony's suit measures up to Decepticon warriors, and if Parker spends another issue as a guinea pig. Spider. Guinea spider? I'm the Angry Spork, and man, have I got issues.